Welcome to this summary of Stephen Covey's timeless classic, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is a book that has touched millions of lives around the world by offering a principle-centered approach for solving personal and professional challenges. Covey's insights go beyond the surface of productivity and efficiency. They touch the core of character, personal values, and how we build lasting, meaningful relationships. In this video, we'll explore each of the 7 habits in depth. We'll talk about how they work, why they're so powerful, and how you can start applying them in your life right away. You don't need to take giant leaps to create change sometimes. It's the small, thoughtful steps that have the most profound impact. Whether you're new to these ideas or revisiting them, this video will guide you through the principles that Stephen Covey believed could transform not just how we work, but how we live. Before we dive into the habits themselves, it's important to understand the foundation Covey sets for the whole book. He emphasizes that true effectiveness comes from the inside out, that is, real change begins with ourselves, not with external circumstances. This is about shifting our mindset from quick fix tactics to developing deep character strengths that can carry us through any challenge. Covey presents us with a new way of thinking. He challenges the belief that success is simply about being more efficient or productive. Instead, he shows us that effectiveness is about aligning our actions with timeless principles, like integrity, humility, patience, and kindness. These principles are at the heart of who we are, and when we live in harmony with them, we not only become more effective, we become better people. To begin, let me share a small story that illustrates this idea of inside-out change. Imagine you're a gardener. You can't make plants grow just by pulling on the leaves and branches. The real work happens below the surface, in the soil nurturing the roots, giving the plant what it needs to grow naturally. In the same way, Covey suggests that our growth as individuals and leaders starts with nurturing the inner principles that guide our actions, rather than just focusing on quick outward results. So, with that foundation in place, let's begin our journey through the 7 habits. These habits will take us from personal mastery, what Covey calls private victory, to success in relationships, and leadership, what he calls public victory. And finally, we'll explore the habits of renewal, which help us maintain our energy, health, and mental clarity for the long haul. Part 1. Paradigms and Principles. Before diving into the 7 habits themselves, Stephen Covey begins with a crucial foundation: paradigms and principles. This first part of the 7 habits of highly effective people serves as a lens through which we view the world and the ideas in this book. Covey believes that to change our lives, we must first examine and, if necessary, shift our paradigms, the mental maps we use to interpret the world around us. A paradigm is essentially the way we see and understand reality, our perception. Imagine wearing tinted glasses. Everything you see is colored by that tint, and you might not even realize it. In the same way, our paradigms shape how we see situations, people, and problems. Covey tells us that to change our lives meaningfully, we need to shift from quick fix solutions to deeper, more fundamental change, starting with how we see the world. The character ethic versus the personality ethic. Covey introduces a powerful idea here: the character ethic versus the personality ethic. He explains that for much of history, success was built on what he calls the character ethic principles, such as integrity, humility, courage, justice, and patience. People believed that success came from cultivating strong inner character. However, over the past century, many success philosophies have shifted toward the personality ethic, which emphasizes superficial techniques like positive thinking, image building, and manipulation. Covey doesn't dismiss the personality ethic entirely. He acknowledges that it can bring some temporary results. But he argues that true, lasting success comes from aligning our behavior with timeless principles, rooted in the character ethic. These principles are universal and enduring. They apply across cultures and time periods. Covey's message is simple. If we want real change, we need to build our lives on a foundation of character and principles, rather than on quick fixes and superficial tactics. Let me share a story that illustrates this idea. Imagine two managers. One focuses solely on improving their public image, always trying to impress their boss, while the other genuinely cares about the well-being of their team. The first manager might achieve short-term success, but their shallow approach can lead to mistrust and dissatisfaction in the long run. The second manager, though they may not see immediate results, builds a foundation of trust, loyalty, and integrity with their team. Over time, this leads to deeper and more sustainable success. Covey reminds us that when we focus on the character ethic, on principles like honesty, kindness, and respect, we build trust and effectiveness that last. It's not about pretending to be something we're not. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves from the inside out. The PPC balance. Next, Covey introduces a concept he calls the PPC balance, which stands for production and production capability. This balance is crucial for long-term effectiveness in every area of life. Covey explains this concept using the classic fable of the goose and the golden egg. In the fable, a farmer has a goose that lays golden eggs. At first, the farmer is thrilled he's growing rich, but his greed leads him to kill the goose, hoping to get all the eggs at once. In the end, he's left with no golden eggs and no way to produce more. Covey uses this story to illustrate that in life, there's a delicate balance between P, producing results, or the golden eggs, and PC, preserving and enhancing your ability to produce, or the health of the goose. This applies to everything from our careers to our relationships. If we're only focused on production, working ourselves to the bone to achieve results, we risk burning out and damaging our long-term capacity to succeed. On the other hand, if we only focus on maintaining our capacity but never actually produce results, we'll be left unfulfilled and unproductive. The key is to find a balance between the two. This principle helps us manage our lives in a way that ensures both short-term and long-term success. For instance, think about your health. If you constantly push yourself to work long hours without taking care of your physical and mental well-being, you might achieve short-term results, but eventually your health will deteriorate, and you won't be able to keep up with your work. Maintaining a balance between production and production capability is crucial to achieving long-term effectiveness in all aspects of life. Changing the way we see the world. Ultimately, Part 1 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People challenges us to rethink how we see the world and ourselves. Covey urges us to shift from a reactive mindset, where we let external circumstances dictate our lives, to a proactive mindset, where we take control of our responses based on our values and principles. This shift in paradigm is the key to unlocking the 7 habits that follow. If we can change our thinking, we can change our lives. And that's what this book is about, not just doing more, but becoming more, aligning our actions with our deepest principles to create lasting, meaningful success. So, with this foundation of paradigms and principles in place, we're ready to explore the 7 habits that will guide us toward true effectiveness, starting with habit 1, be proactive. Stay with me as we begin this journey into the habits that can transform your life from the inside out. Part 2, private victory. Now that we've laid the foundation with the principles and paradigms of success, we're ready to dive into part 2 of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Covey begins with 3 habits that form the basis of personal victory, what he calls private victory. These habits are about mastering yourself, your mindset, your actions, and your priorities. They help us build the inner strength that will guide us to true personal effectiveness. Habit 1. Be proactive. Principles of personal vision. The journey toward personal effectiveness begins with habit 1. Be proactive. This habit is about taking responsibility for your life. Being proactive means recognizing that you are the creator of your own reality. You have the power to choose your actions, your attitude, and your responses to the circumstances around you. Stephen Covey explains that between stimulus and response, we have the freedom to choose. This is a profound idea because it reminds us that no matter what life throws our way, we have the ability to choose how we respond. It's about shifting from a reactive mindset where we let external circumstances control us to a proactive mindset where we take control of our own actions. Covey introduces the circle of concern and the circle of influence. The circle of concern includes all the things we worry about but cannot control, like the weather, the economy, or other people's behavior. The circle of influence, however, includes the things we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Proactive people focus on their circle of influence, and as they do, that circle expands. They take responsibility for their lives and direct their energy toward things they can actually change. Imagine someone who faces a challenging situation at work, a tough boss, a difficult project, or an overwhelming workload. A reactive person might complain about the circumstances and feel helpless. A proactive person, on the other hand, would focus on what they can control: their work ethic, their attitude, and how they manage their time. By shifting their focus to what they can influence, they begin to see opportunities for growth and change. This proactive approach empowers them to take charge of their life rather than letting life control them. Being proactive is the first step toward personal mastery. It's about taking ownership of your decisions and recognizing that you have the power to create change from the inside out. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Principles of personal leadership. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind is all about personal leadership. It's about having a clear vision of where you want your life to go. Covey explains that everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality. Just as an architect draws up blueprints before building a house, we must first create a clear picture of what we want our lives to look like before we can start building it. Covey encourages us to think deeply about our ultimate purpose. What are your core values? What legacy do you want to leave behind? He suggests that we develop a personal mission statement, a written declaration of our values, goals, and guiding principles. This mission statement becomes our internal compass, guiding us through life's decisions and challenges. Imagine a person who feels stuck in life, perhaps. They're working in a job they don't love or living a life that feels unfulfilling. By beginning with the end in mind, this person can take a step back and think about what truly matters to them. Maybe they realize that family and creativity are their top priorities, and their current lifestyle isn't aligned with those values. With that clarity, they can begin to make decisions that lead them toward the life they truly want. Whether that means changing careers, spending more time with loved ones, or pursuing personal passions. By defining the end goal, we can ensure that the steps we take today are aligned with where we want to go in the future. This is the essence of leadership, making sure your daily actions are taking you in the direction of your ultimate purpose. Habit 3. Put first things first. Principles of personal management. Habit 3. Put first things first is where personal leadership meets personal management. While habit 2 is about deciding what your priorities are, habit 3 is about managing your time and energy to ensure those priorities get the attention they deserve. Covey tells us that it's not enough to know what's important. we must also have the discipline to put those important things first. Covey introduces the time management matrix, a powerful tool that divides our activities into 4 quadrants based on urgency and importance. The goal is to spend most of our time in quadrant 2, which includes important but not urgent activities like planning, personal development, and relationship building. These are the activities that truly matter, but because they don't have immediate deadlines, they often get neglected. Think of a person who is constantly overwhelmed by work, always rushing to meet deadlines, answering emails, and putting out fires. They're stuck in quadrant I dealing with urgent and important crises, but they're not investing time in quadrant 2 activities that would prevent those crises from happening in the first place. When we put first things first, we prioritize the activities that contribute to our long-term success and well-being, like exercising, spending time with loved ones, and planning for the future. The challenge is to say no to the distractions and lesser priorities so we can say yes to what truly matters. As Covey says, effective people are those who organize and execute around priorities. By learning to put first things first, we ensure that our time and energy are spent on what aligns with our values and long-term goals. These first 3 habits form the foundation of private victory. They help us build the inner character and discipline that lead to personal effectiveness. When we are proactive, when we begin with the end in mind, and when we put first things first, we create the structure needed for a life of purpose and fulfillment. In the next section, we'll explore public victory, where we'll learn how to build trust, cooperation, and synergy in our relationships with others. These habits will help us become not just personally effective, but effective in working with others as well. Stay with me as we continue this journey through the 7 habits of highly effective people. Part 3, Public Victory. After mastering the first 3 habits that lead to private victory, those that help us build inner character and self-mastery, we are now ready to move into the next phase of personal effectiveness, the public victory. In this section of the 7 habits of highly effective people, Stephen Covey introduces us to the habits that govern how we interact with others. These habits help us move from independence to interdependence, where we achieve greater success through collaboration, trust, and synergy. Habit 4, Think Win-Win, Principles of Interpersonal Leadership. Habit 4, Think Win-Win, is the foundation of effective interpersonal relationships. Covey teaches us that in any interaction, we have several possible outcomes: win-win, win-lose, lose-win, or lose-lose. But the goal for highly effective people is always to aim for win-win mutual benefit. This means seeking solutions that satisfy both parties, where both people feel valued and respected. Covey emphasizes that win-win is not about being nice or compromising. It's about having the courage to stand up for your own beliefs while also respecting the other person's needs and desires. It's about cultivating an abundance mentality, the belief that there is plenty to go around and that success for one person doesn't mean less for another. Imagine 2 business partners negotiating a contract. One partner could take a win-lose approach, trying to maximize their own benefit at the expense of the other. But this might lead to resentment and a damaged relationship. Instead, if they approach the negotiation with a win-win mindset, they seek solutions that will help both sides achieve their goals. Perhaps one partner gets more favorable terms in the short term, while the other gains more value in the long term. This mindset not only strengthens the business partnership, but also builds trust and goodwill. Covey believes that thinking win-win is the key to building strong, lasting relationships in both our personal and professional lives. It's a mindset shift that helps us move away from competition and scarcity and toward collaboration and abundance. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Principles of empathic communication. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood is about the power of empathic communication. Covey teaches us that most people don't listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. We often rush to share our own thoughts and opinions without first fully grasping what the other person is trying to say. But true communication and effective problem solving come from understanding first. Covey urges us to practice empathetic listening, not just to the words, but to the emotions and meaning behind them. When we seek to understand someone before trying to make ourselves understood, we build trust and connection. We create a space where the other person feels valued and heard, which in turn makes them more open to our perspective. Think of a situation where two friends are having a disagreement. One friend might be so focused on making their own point that they don't take the time to understand where the other person is coming from. But if they pause and listen, deeply seeking to understand the other's feelings and perspective, they might find common ground that wasn't visible before. By showing empathy, they not only resolve the conflict more effectively, but also strengthen the relationship. Covey believes that effective communication is one of the most critical skills in life. When we seek first to understand, we build the foundation of trust needed to influence others and collaborate meaningfully. This habit is the key to both personal and professional success. Habit 6. Synergize. Principles of creative cooperation. Habit 6, synergize, is all about creative cooperation. This habit teaches us that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. When we bring together diverse perspectives, talents, and ideas, we create solutions that are better than anything we could have achieved on our own. Synergy is about valuing differences, celebrating diversity, and working together to achieve extraordinary outcomes. Covey describes synergy as the ultimate form of collaboration. It's what happens when we go beyond simple cooperation and embrace the unique strengths of others. Synergy leads to breakthroughs in problem solving because it encourages people to think creatively and combine their strengths in ways that wouldn't be possible individually. Let's say you're part of a team working on a new project. Each team member brings a different skill set to the table. One is great at design, another at marketing, and another at strategy. If the team works in silos, they may only reach average solutions. But if they embrace synergy truly, valuing each person's unique contribution and working together creatively, they may come up with an innovative product or solution that none of them could have envisioned alone. Synergy is what turns individual efforts into collective success. Covey encourages us to seek out synergy in our relationships and work environments, believing that when we value differences and work together creatively, we can accomplish far more than we ever thought possible. Public victory, the key to strong relationships. These 3 habits, think win-win, seek first to understand, then to be understood, and synergize lay the foundation for public victory. They help us cultivate strong, trust-based relationships where collaboration, empathy, and mutual benefit are at the heart of everything we do. Covey shows us that success in life isn't just about personal achievement. It's about building meaningful connections with others and creating environments where everyone can thrive. By practicing these habits, we shift from independence to interdependence, the place where true success and fulfillment happen. When we think win-win, seek to understand, and create synergy, we open the door to deeper relationships, better outcomes, and a richer life. In the next section, we'll explore Habit 7, Sharpen the Saw, which focuses on renewal and self-care. This habit will help us maintain our physical, mental, and emotional well-being so that we can continue to grow and serve others effectively. Stay with me as we continue our journey through the 7 habits of highly effective people. Part 4, Renewal. As we continue our journey through the 7 habits of highly effective people, we now come to Part 4, Renewal. This section covers the 7th and final habit, sharpen the saw. This habit is all about self-renewal, taking the time to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit so that you can maintain effectiveness in all areas of life. Covey believes that personal and professional growth cannot be sustained without regular renewal. Sharpening the saw is about maintaining and enhancing the greatest asset you have, yourself. Just like a saw that becomes dull with use, we too can become worn down by the demands of life. If we don't take the time to sharpen ourselves, to rest, reflect, and recharge, we can lose our edge and our ability to be effective. Habit 7, sharpen the saw, principles of balanced self-renewal. Habit 7, sharpen the saw, emphasizes the importance of balanced self-renewal in 4 key areas of life: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Each of these dimensions contributes to our overall well-being, and Covey stresses that neglecting any one of them can lead to burnout, stress, and reduced effectiveness. Let's take a closer look at each of these areas. Physical renewal. This involves taking care of your body, eating well, exercising, getting enough rest, and managing stress. When we invest time and energy into physical health, we build the stamina and strength to handle life's challenges. It's about recognizing that physical wellness is foundational to overall effectiveness. Mental renewal. Covey encourages us to continue learning and expanding our minds. This could be through reading, writing, solving problems, or engaging in stimulating conversations. Mental renewal keeps us sharp, creative, and open to new ideas. Emotional renewal. This area focuses on building healthy relationships and nurturing emotional well-being. It involves connecting with others, cultivating empathy, and managing our emotions effectively. Emotional renewal often comes through acts of kindness, service, and love, things that help us feel connected to those around us. Spiritual renewal. Covey sees spiritual renewal as reconnecting with your deeper values and purpose. This might be through prayer, meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in activities that inspire and uplift you. Spiritual renewal helps you stay grounded and aligned with your mission in life. Covey tells us that sharpen the saw is not a one-time activity. It's a continual process. Just like a blade that needs regular sharpening, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves need regular care and attention. When we practice balanced self-renewal, we ensure that we can keep growing and serving others effectively. The 4 dimensions of renewal. Let me share a quick story that illustrates the power of renewal. Imagine you're a woodcutter, working hard every day to chop down trees. Over time, your saw becomes dull, but instead of taking a break to sharpen it, you just keep working harder and harder. Eventually, your productivity plummets because the dull saw can't cut through the trees efficiently. Now imagine the difference if you stopped periodically to sharpen the saw. You'd work more effectively and with less effort because the tool you rely on is in top condition. You are that tool. And habit 7 reminds us to take time for self-care so we can maintain our effectiveness in all areas of life. Covey also emphasizes that renewal in one area often has positive effects in other areas. For example, exercising regularly not only improves physical health, but also boosts mental clarity and emotional resilience. Similarly, nurturing your spiritual well-being can bring a sense of peace and purpose that positively affects your relationships and your work. Sharpening the saw is about keeping all aspects of your life in balance, so you can approach each day with energy, focus, and a clear sense of purpose. Living a balanced life. Covey's message is clear. If we want to live a life of sustained effectiveness, we must make self-renewal a regular practice. The demands of life will always be there, but when we take time to sharpen our saw to nurture our bodies, minds, hearts, and spirits, we ensure that we can meet those demands with strength, creativity, and resilience. This habit is not just about self-care for the sake of it. It's about maintaining the foundation that supports everything else in life. When we're well-rested, physically healthy, mentally sharp, emotionally connected, and spiritually grounded, we're better equipped to serve others, achieve our goals, and find joy in the journey. With Habit 7 Sharpen the Saw, we conclude our journey through the 7 habits of highly effective people. Stephen Covey's wisdom teaches us that true effectiveness comes from aligning our lives with timeless principles, nurturing our inner character, and continuously renewing ourselves so that we can keep growing and contributing. These 7 habits are more than just strategies for success, they are a way of life. By integrating these habits into our daily actions, we can build a strong foundation for lasting fulfillment, deep relationships, and meaningful success. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Covey's timeless principles. Remember to take time for renewal, prioritize what matters most, and approach each day with a proactive, principle-centered mindset. Until next time, stay strong, stay balanced, and keep sharpening your saw. Inside Out Again, Final Reflections. As we come to the final section of the 7 habits of highly effective people, Stephen Covey brings us back to where we began with the idea of inside out. This concept has been at the core of the entire journey. True and lasting change doesn't begin with external factors. It starts with ourselves, with our character, our paradigms, and our values. Covey reminds us once again that the most effective way to achieve success and happiness is to work from the inside out. Throughout this book, Covey has shown us that the principles of effectiveness are universal and timeless. By building our lives on these foundational principles like integrity, humility, and patience, we become empowered to lead ourselves and positively influence the world around us. But it all starts with changing our paradigms and mastering ourselves before we try to change our relationships, our work, or our circumstances. Covey's inside-out philosophy teaches us that it's not about quick fixes or superficial changes. Real transformation happens when we focus on growing our inner character and aligning our behavior with our values. The 7 habits provide us with a clear roadmap for this personal transformation. They guide us through the process of becoming proactive, setting meaningful goals, prioritizing what matters, and building trust-based relationships. A story of inside-out change. Let's consider a simple yet powerful story that reflects that inside-out philosophy. Imagine a gardener who carefully tends to the soil, ensuring that it's rich in nutrients and well-watered. Though it takes time, patience, and consistent effort, the gardener knows that healthy roots will eventually produce beautiful, flourishing plants. The gardener doesn't focus on the leaves and branches right away, but works steadily on nurturing the roots from below the surface. Over time, the garden thrives, not because of quick results, but because the gardener was dedicated to building a strong foundation. This is the inside-out approach, focusing on the root causes, our character, our mindset, our principles, so that the results, like the flourishing plants, emerge naturally over time. By developing strong inner roots, we can create a life of integrity, fulfillment, and effectiveness, creating lasting change. In this final section, Covey reminds us that the principles in this book are not just for temporary success or quick wins, they are for a lifetime. The process of growth is ongoing, and the 7 habits serve as lifelong companions on the journey of personal and professional development. Covey also emphasizes that this journey is deeply personal. Each of us must apply these habits in our own unique way, based on our individual circumstances, values, and aspirations. As we continue to grow from the inside out, we build a strong foundation that can support not just our own success, but also the success and well-being of those around us. The principles of effectiveness help us develop resilience, purpose, and deep satisfaction in every area of life. Whether you're working to strengthen your family, build your career, or contribute to your community, the lessons from this book empower you to do so with integrity and confidence. Final reflections. And so we come full circle. Covey's message is simple yet profound. Lasting change always begins from within. By living in alignment with principles of integrity, humility, and love, we become effective not just in what we do, but in who we are. As you continue your own journey, remember that the habits of highly effective people are not a destination, they are a way of life. Keep nurturing your inner character, stay committed to personal growth, and lead your life with purpose and principle. The ripple effects of this inside-out approach will extend far beyond you, touching the lives of those around you and contributing to a better, more meaningful world. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Stephen Covey's timeless wisdom. I hope the principles and habits we've explored will inspire you to live a life of lasting effectiveness and fulfillment. As we conclude this journey through the 7 habits of highly effective people, I hope you found insights and inspiration that you can carry with you in your own life. Stephen Covey's timeless wisdom reminds us that effectiveness is not just about achieving results. It's about becoming the kind of person who consistently lives with integrity, purpose, and principle. From the importance of being proactive and setting meaningful goals, to building trust-filled relationships and renewing ourselves regularly, these habits offer a powerful framework for personal and professional growth. The message of this book is simple yet profound. When we start from the inside out, we can create lasting change that radiates through every area of our lives. Remember, the key is to take these principles and apply them step by step. Change doesn't happen overnight, but with dedication and a commitment to growth, you can build the habits that will lead to long-term success and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Whether you're new to these ideas or revisiting them, I hope this video has given you the clarity and encouragement to continue your own path toward personal effectiveness. Take these habits with you, reflect on them, and begin applying them in your life. Small, consistent changes can lead to incredible transformation over time. If you found this video helpful, I'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Your journey to effectiveness is ongoing, and together we can keep learning and growing.